Hi guys, welcome back to this week's video. Today I thought I would bring something different to the table. I really wanted to talk about my 2026 wish list for knitting. As some of you might have seen, I am a huge knitter. It consumes a lot of days in my life, and although I don't produce as many garments as I wish to, I am still very enthusiastic about my knitting. While last year was full of knitting, I realized that I don't knit enough for myself. I actually went more detail about this on our podcast. Me and my friend Jade have a podcast called the Long Story Short Podcast, Taylor reference of course. And yeah, we talked about our 2025 recap there and our 2026 intentions. And one of my intentions on our first episode was that I want to knit more for myself specifically. So if anyone is like me and loves some classic patterns, I thought what better way than my channel to present them to you. So get a cup of coffee you like or a cup of tea, and then we can go through these together. So this is my 2026 wish list for knitting patterns. All right, so let's just get right into the video. So I thought I could start with some winter pieces that I still want to knit or want to have ready for next winter, and then we'll go on to some summer pieces after this that I want to start knitting for summer. Okay, so what I look for in a sweater is I generally liked long sleeve sweaters to be quite loose by the hand and quite long. I don't like them being scrunched on my wrist or my waist, so I like a good loose fit, which is why sometimes I change the needle to a bigger size when I do the ribbing at the end. Same for like the hand and the waist area, so it gives quite a loose fit. Not too long, not too short. I like a good mid-rise jean meeting the mid-length sweater, you know. So yeah, I do alter a lot of the original patterns that I think are too short or too long or too scrunched up into my own taste of it, but I do still follow the pattern as much as possible. So the first few things I want to knit is by lilleknitting. The first sweater is called the Siri sweater. I just think the cable knitwear and the pattern on this is so beautiful. Like the fit looks perfect, cozy, not too chunky, so I would look too bulky, but just the right amount of thickness. And I have knit pieces by lilleknitting before, so I do feel like I would be passionate enough to start my first cable knit sweater with a sweater like the Siri sweater. I don't know what yarn or what color I would like to do, but I'm thinking something lighter. Pastel tone or either this ivory I really like, so you can see the cables quite well. Next on is very similar. It's the Siri cardigan. So they have a cardigan version that's not the sweater, and I just love how the back of the pattern looks, and like the arms, a white tee with a pair of nice jeans, loose jeans or blue jeans with a lighter colored Siri cardigan would look really good. There's just something very Scandinavian about this pattern and this website, but I love it. So I want to do both the sweater and the cardigan. The third one is actually a work in progress. I have had this project on hold for a whole year, and I started working on this for about 2 to 3 years ago now, I think. After my first sweater, I hopped onto this sweater, which is the Peggy sweater. I really loved how it looked. I remember I got inspiration from another knitter, a Korean knitter on Instagram, and the pattern just looked so gorgeous to me. And I actually have my cast on right here. I used the exact same yarn that was used in the picture because I really liked like the warmth of the natural white color. You do blend together one strand of mohair and a strand of merino wool. Yeah, I chose what they used for writing the pattern. I think mine turned out very loose and big, One thing about me is that I have never ever knitted a gauge like patch. Don't come for me if you're a knitter. I just knit based on intuition. So if it turns out a little bigger, that's fine. I still like a good loose fit. But I do not do a gauge swatch. And I cannot for the life of me do that. But yeah, this is the body of my Peggy sweater. It's gotten a little scrinkly because I folded it up, but as you can see, the patchwork is really beautiful. There's like bubble stitches, then there's this rectangular diagonal pattern and like some zigzag, and it just gives very much Christmas. And I have the looser ribbing down here. It is a 4mm needle, which is why it's taking so long, because you just have so many stitches to go around whilst reading a pattern. But what really made me stop for the moment was the sleeves. Because I do like written patterns better, just looking at this chart, I didn't understand anything, because you have to decrease whilst following the pattern, and just something in me just found it so difficult. But yeah, I still have the short needles, 4mm cast on. Hopefully I will pick this up soon. I think once I get a hang of it, it will go quicker. On to the next set of sweaters. These are from Moreca Knit. I recently discovered them and I am in love with some of their patterns. It's such a simple and staple piece of garment in your wardrobe that I feel like you can make in several colors and wear for a long time. First up, I have the pole sweater. And it is a V-neck sweater that's a loose fit. And I feel like V-necks are back in these days. Of course, it will take a while for me to finish knitting a V-neck sweater at this point, because it's now February. But winter in Sweden is until May. You can imagine spring coming in March, but honestly and rationally, it will not come until May. So if I wanted to finish something, I probably could. And otherwise, I would love to have this piece for later in the fall of 2026. Just so you know, guys, I will have to pick and choose what I will knit, because I will never be able to knit all of these this year. It's just my wish list. Next one is a pattern I actually have. It's the Cecil sweater, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It is a turtleneck sweater. I have never knit a turtleneck, and I do not own a turtleneck just because I hate suffocating, having something around my neck that's itchy or too tight. But I feel like a loose turtleneck sweater like this could really keep me warm, and it would look so good with like a coat or a jacket when the turtleneck is peeking through. I just love the fit of a loose turtleneck, like the loose bottom with like some looser sleeves, a loose neck. And I purchased this pattern because I thought it was going to be the perfect fit for my dream turtleneck sweater. Another pattern that's very similar is by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I purchased my very first pattern from this website, so it's very sentimental to me. I feel like they have gorgeous pieces, and their sweater number 9 is the sweater that I also found really cute. I saw a picture of someone wearing it on Pinterest, like a model or someone who had taken a picture of themselves in the sweater, and the fit just looked perfect. There's a bit of like an interesting stitch going on by the neck to the armpit line. I think if I choose like a more, I don't know, I never really wear green, but like I saw the sweater in a light green and that looked really pretty, or even in a red. I don't know, I felt like it would be more of like a lightweight turtleneck sweater, if you know what I mean. And then the second one by My Favorite Things Knitwear is also a half turtleneck, or a full, I guess, if you continue knitting. It's the sweater number 8. This one is a ribbed pattern with like very beautiful detailing by the shoulder down to the arm. And I really liked how it was flowing, you know? I feel like a classic stitch like rib stitching can change so much in a design, and it just looked so elegant, and I feel like I would love wearing this one day with like a really cool coat, you know? I think it's a perfect sweater to have your hair tucked in. It just looks really chic, like the picture. So I really have been considering this one as well as my first turtleneck sweater, just because I really like the ribbing details of it. So we'll see where I get to when I actually choose to knit my first one. Another alternative I have is also the Pear sweater by Lilleknitting. I love her Instagram, such a sweet girl. I see her reels often because I have another knitting account specifically for knitting, and I see her there a lot. And this Pear sweater has a very loose waist, loose arms, and a mock neck height type of design. So I really liked it, and I feel like this would also work to knit with like a thinner yarn. So just grabbing it on top of a t-shirt on the go would be really good. Specifically for these turtlenecks, I think I would invest in a better quality yarn or like a less itchier yarn, just for my saneness. The next one I have here, I just saw this picture on Pinterest. The back of the sweater was really pretty, and it's called the Braidy loop sweater by Other Loops. It has some ribbing detail, but it's a lot of stockinette and then purl stitches, stockinette, purl stitches. And then there's a cable pattern on the back from like one arm to the other, crossing like from the front arm to the back, from the left side to the right side, and then down to your right arm. So the detailing is very beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of how the waistline looks, just because I feel like the ribbing for the sleeve was this thick and then the ribbing for the waist was this thick. But I think I would continue to make the ribbing the same amount of centimeters as the sleeves to make it match like that. But yeah, I really liked the design of this sweater, and I feel like once I've knitted some that are more higher up on my wish list, I will knit this one for sure. I think every knitter has heard of petit knit once in their life, and I just loved the look of the Dagmar jacket. Once I get into all the cable knit extravaganza, once I've learned a few techniques, I really want to try out this Dagmar jacket. I love the look of it, and I saw a girl wearing it. It was like a bigger fit on her, and it really looked like a staple in a wardrobe. With like lighter colors, I think it looks really good, or like even maybe a light, colder tone of gray. I think it would look really nice. So the Dagmar jacket is definitely on my list. Then I have another one that's on my list actually, that for some reason I have not included here, but I'm just gonna quickly look it up on Pinterest because I just thought of it. It is the port jacket pattern by the brand Ozetta, and I just love how it really gave not a cardigan look but an outerwear look. Like if I use a good thick yarn and nice buttons, it comes up to the neck part so you can close it until the top. I feel like it would be a perfect staple for early winter or like even later fall to wear as an outer, with like wearing something on the inside as well. So the port jacket has been one of the anticipated patterns I have been wanting to knit. Next on I have the Clara cabled rib sweater by CL Knits, and I saw a picture that the knitwear designer had taken on Pinterest. It was like the sleeve part, because the sleeve end, you knit everything in stockinette besides like the neckline and the waist and the sleeves, and it had a really cute specific pattern you will see on this picture. I just loved the way it looked. I like a bit of a longer fit, so I think I would have it longer than what she has done here. But there's also like a cable done where the raglan would be for this sweater, like from the neckline to the armpits again and the back. I really like the details on this sweater, and it's been one of my anticipated patterns I've been wanting to knit as well. Just like a staple, but like a cute touch to it. So this sweater is by Knit by Kofo on Instagram, and it's the minga sweater. In the same context, she's done some kind of detailing by the neckline and the sleeve, which I thought was really cute. Also the same pattern on the waist, and in a light blue or like a light pink, I think it would be a really cute pop of color, like a subtle one. It's giving very feminine vibes, and I really liked the vibe of this sweater, so I'm gonna keep that in there on my wish list as well, together with the Clara cable knit in my mind. The next sweater is a pattern by Dreamland Knit Design, and it's called the Sweet Gift of Love sweater. And this sweater I specifically loved because they have a junior version that's also so cute. It has like heart details. The details of the sweater come from like alternating between knit and purl. So it has hearts and a bit of cable, a bit of other patterns, and I really liked the real cold whiteness of the sweater that I saw in the picture. And since they have a junior version, I would love to wear this as like a matching sweater with my future child. So yeah, that's on my list for when I have kids. Another cardigan I want to knit for myself as well, maybe a thinner version, is the Crooked Cardi by Simone Bergh, it says here. But I think her name on Instagram is like Simi Strick or something. And it's this crooked cardi. I made this for my little sister Lena for her birthday in August. The button band is on the left side of the body. I think my sister has gotten a lot of use out of this, and the fit is really cute. So I would love to make this for myself as well in a thinner yarn, so I can wear it during like late summer, or just bring it around and like wrap it when I feel cold on a summer night. And then I have some accessories before hopping on to summer items. This I feel like I could still squeeze in some time to make this winter. So one of the patterns I already have is called the Chantal mittens by Moreca Knit again. There's two variations. There's fingerless mittens, and then there's classic mittens where like 4 fingers are together and then you have the thumb separate. And I really like the stitching and like the increase going into the thumb. Like it looked very elegant and cute. It's not like too simple that it's only a stockinette. It has a type of stripe looking pattern in it. I want to knit both fingerless and with like a classic mitten for this one as well. The next pair of mittens again is a newer pattern, I believe. The release was quite recently, and it's by Tuva Sandok on Instagram. I love her content, and she has a website called Sandok that she created recently. So her mittens, it's just called mittens, are very interesting because you knit this long wrist part, and then you fold the mitten in half and create this look. And I loved the design of this. It's very chic, it's very, not trendy, I would say it's timeless, but it's something a lot of people would love. The next ones are also a classic style mitten. It's by Lynette again, but these are called the Rosie mittens. I don't know how the mittens are structured itself, but I really like the pattern of it. It has this rose stitch that they have been using in a few sweaters and patterns recently. So as like a light color work with like your staple coat, I think this design of a mitten would be really cute. And then more in gloves, I have the tabi gloves by Joanna Adamek. So I really like tabis. I think they look phenomenal. Cute in ballerinas. It looks like this. So you have the thumb, you have the point finger, and then you have the rest of the fingers in like each socket of the tabi glove. And I really liked how it looked striped, but I think it also looks pretty cute not striped. Then there are these knitted socks by Sandok again. Really cute, has a ribbing detail. They look very similar to the knitted socks my sibling Anna made for me for Christmas. I want to knit a pair of socks for next winter for myself as well, because I realized there's no cold weather, there's just bad socks. The socks I've been wearing are either acrylic or not good for heat, holding in heat and stuff. So a pair of woolen socks is something I really need as a staple in my wardrobe for every winter with wearing boots. Next up as accessories, I have the Ellie bonnet. This could be a really good piece to knit this winter, so like now, hopping into spring, I feel like covering only my ears would be a really cute and smarter option. All winter I've been wearing the Sophie scarf by Petit Knit and I've gotten great use out of it, but I think when the weather is changing to become a little warmer, it would be nice to just have a simple bonnet that I have in my bag to just put around my head and like tie it around my neck here to wear. And I just really liked the pattern and the shape of this by Kiss Kiss Rhinestones. Next up, I finally have some summer pieces and I'm really excited because this is what I can start thinking of myself knitting now. It's really cold, but I think I have to come to terms with the fact that I will not be done with a summer piece when I'm knitting it during summer. It's going to be done by autumn, so I have to prepare and get my hands on it earlier. So first off, I have two patterns by Matilda Knits. She is a model and influencer and knitwear designer from Copenhagen. Yeah, I follow her for a while and I love her content, and I was so happy that she started knitting and created her own knitting brand. She's really talented. So the top I really want to knit for summer is the Freya top. It's like an off-shoulder, sleeveless and with ribbing, and I thought this would look really good with just a pair of jeans or like summer pants or a cute skirt. Just going to swim, if you have like bikini straps plus the Freya top, I feel like it would look really cute for the summer. So that's a top I've really been wanting to knit. The next one is the Mary dress. This is also a knit where I want to make for summer, or like early fall if I wear long sleeves with like jeans under, but I thought it was really cute for just like a summer night out or going to the beach, I guess, if it's like thin yarn. All of these patterns I would have to consider knitting in cotton, which is not as soft as any other yarn there is out there, but for summer I think cotton is the most cool material, especially if it's gonna get wet a lot of the times. But yeah, I really like the waist detail where it's a bit cinched and ribbing, so I think even if you've eaten a bit, it won't feel too suffocating because it's ribbing and it will stretch out. One next pattern that I've really been anticipating to knit is called the petit. The account is called Marie-Lena Tricot. So yeah, it's by Marie, I guess. And the petit has the detailing of buttons on the waist. I think it's only one waist though. So you have buttons on one side, and I felt like it would really give a good unique touch to a simple outfit. I also like the cut of the sleeves, very summery, and the neckline was also gorgeous. I just like the overall fit of this tee. So I will definitely be knitting this summer in like a cotton blend or some sort. And then while I was searching around a little for what patterns I wanted to introduce, I stumbled upon these micro shorts by Loopy Studios. For the summer, I want to knit these micro shorts. I feel like wearing them at home or like as sleepwear, or like I said, at the beach, because I can choose to make them a bit longer. I think it would be really cute. Easy material to dry and just put on and take the bike to the water and stuff. So yes, these micro shorts are definitely on my list for this summer. I also have this pattern by Sandok again. It's the knitted skirt. It's like a shorter skirt. I think I specifically bought this to be able to layer with a pair of pants, like jeans or just suit pants, just to have a piece of layering. That's another pattern I have for the summer. The last pattern I will be sharing with you guys today is another pattern by Kiss Kiss Rhinestones, Leah. It's called the Seashore Bandana. I just feel like after going for a swim, this bandana would be perfect for throwing on wet hair, and when you're wearing a pair of sunglasses. I mean, you kind of look droopy in the front here after you've been swimming, and although I don't really care how anyone sees me when I've just gone for a swim and like I'm biking up home. I think it would be really cute to wear this bandana. It gives a very cool summer fresh vibe, and I think it's a very simple project I could work on for a weekend if I am willing to do so. Those were all the patterns I want to knit for 2026, but it's more of a wish list of sweaters I want as staples throughout the years. I hope you guys enjoyed looking through these patterns with me, and if you have the same type of taste, here is the information for you. This is definitely not the last time I am sharing my wish list. I have a lot of other things I want to knit, but I just couldn't find for this specific video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I usually don't do sit down videos, but I thought this one would be a fun one. And I don't feel like I really share my love for knitting as much as I wish to on my channel. So I think this year I really want to incorporate that more. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or suggestions of patterns or just want to talk all things knitting, then leave a comment down below. And I hope to see you very soon. Thank you. Bye.